Hey everyone, it's Justin Parnell back again with another episode of Journey of Discovery, our free-to-play MTG Arena series. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel. You can catch more Journey of Discovery, more Ali Aintrazi brew stream highlights, as well as the Thinktwice podcast. If you're going to listen to the Thinktwice podcast on an audio platform, search Thinktwice MTG on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, and Spotify. All right, today we're going to be playing some Ravnica Allegiance Standard and opening a ton of packs. This is, again, as we said in the last episode, if you guys didn't catch it, the goal going forward, now that we have duplicate protection, is to get to 9,000 gems around the beginning of each set release. So when the next set comes out, War of the Spark, the goal is to have 9,000 gems. We have 11 right now, so that means we're going to have some number left over, which is going to be in the neighborhood of 2,200 gems. So we have 12 packs already. We used our Play Allegiance code. We did a draft where we got 3 packs. We got 6 packs from our wins because I didn't get... during the first week that you could play Ravnica Allegiance, I made sure to not get any of my wins so I could get them in Ravnica Allegiance instead of Gilded Ravnica. And then we're going to be buying 45 packs. Let's go ahead and do that. We definitely want to confirm this purchase. Here is our Haunt of Hightower. And there we have 2,200, so let's open these packs. Let's open this Rival of Ixalan's pack that we have just hanging around from a couple of times ago. Time Stream Navigator. Well, it is a mythic rare. Okay. So, instead of opening these one by one, we are going to open... We'll open 7 one by one, but we'll open them in the 10s. Okay. So here, we did get 2 mythics, including a Skargan Hellkite. That's not bad. Hero Precinct 1, which is great. Tide Taker's great. Teysa, I'm sure we'll get some use out of. 2 of this card. Theory Absolution, Deputy Detention, another mythic rare. Okay. We're obviously looking for lands. We're getting a bunch of wild cards as we do this. Ooh, this is a great one. 2 Incubation Druids, 2 Gruul Spellbreakers, a Growth Chamber Guardian, another Tide Taker, an Absorb, and a Zagana. The only thing that's not great here is the Amplifier. All right. Oh, this is another good one. This is our first dual land, but we do have essentially 2 other dual lands. A Bedevil, a Ravager Worm, and a Hero of Precinct 1. People like this card. I'm not one of those people. This card is probably fine in Singleton, probably not great in Standard. I don't think Mass Manipulation is very good. 10 more. All right, a Domri, a Mythic Wild card, another Bedevil, Awaken the Erstwhile, which is actually a card I do like, Thrash and Threat, which I think is good, Theater of Horrors, which could be good, Kaya's Wrath, which is good. Okay. All right, here we have 2 Teysas. That brings us to 3. Nikia, Spawn of Mayhem, which is good. Captive Audience, which is a card that Ali has been playing. Cindervines, which is I think is fine. Unbreakable Formation. This one's not. This one was not quite as good. We have a lot of wild cards now, though. Godless Shrine, excellent. Tome of the Guild Pact, medium. More wild cards, always good. Blood Crypt, very good. Cindervines, medium. Wild cards, always good. Theater of Horrors, also medium. Theory Absolution, probably not too good. And then last pack. Hero Precinct 1. So we actually have a number of these, which is good. So let's check out our collection. We opened a lot of packs of Gilded Ravnica. And again, this is all free to play. So we have not, you know, I feel like we're doing pretty good. This is where the second set coming out. We essentially have every common uncommon we could ever want. A lot of mythics, a number of rares. And just looking at Ravnica Allegiance, rares and mythics. 3 heroes, a couple of Tithe Takers. 2 Incubation Druids. One of these, which is good. Absorb, Deputy, Kaya's Wrath. We have 3 Tastes, which is not super great. We did get this in our draft. 2 Bedevils, which is good. 2 Theater of Horrors, which is good. 2 Spellbreakers. 1 Thrash Threat, 1 Domri. 1 Ravager Worm. And then a smattering of single dual lands. Obviously, wish we had more of those, but you know, that's something that is likely that we're going to use some of our wild cards on. So, not too bad. Not too bad of a start. And 3 whole % on our vault progress. So, we did really great there. Just kidding. That's terrible. Let's see. Let's see what we did, how we did with our uncommons. So, cards we're likely to play. Terramander. Only 2 of those. Actually, I want to see what we're missing. Okay. No, that's neither of those. Those are fine. Looks like all of no Cry the Carnarium, so that might be a one that we're gonna use. 2 Light Up the Stage. We'll probably craft 2 more of those. Spoiler alert. Okay, don't need any of these. Depose Deploy is very good. We'll probably end up crafting those at some point. Only 1 Mortify. No Fireblade Artists. We might craft those at some point. Collision Colossus. 2 Rhythm of the Wild. That's something we could end up crafting more of. Same with Thunder Shaman and Frilled Mystic. And not worried about any of these. Not a playset of any of these. That's okay. What about commons? Commons we should have. We should have a number of. Looks like 2 or 3 of everything, except for persistent petitioners, which is fine. We don't ever need any of those because that would say that we would be playing them, but of course we're not. So, all right. I kind of just wanted to take a look at some of the stuff that we got. Looks like we didn't get 4 of anything. So just from a math perspective, that's good to know. You're not going to even get 4 of anything by opening over 50 packs. So, okay, well, so I'm going to quickly put together the deck that we're going to make and be right back. All right. As I'm sure most of you already know by what you clicked on the episode, we're going to be attempting to just straight up burn people. And for some reason, I believe I've taken some number of cards out of the deck, so ignore this as we add those back in. Okay, I must have removed some as I was going through, but we're going to be burning people today. So this is something you're not going to see on Ali's side of the channel, unless, of course, he's getting, you know, beaten in the face by it. So this deck is quite simple. 12 1-drops. Kind of, because this is a 1-drop. So 16 1-drops. Some number of 2-drops, but these are also 1-drops. So these really go here. And this really goes here. And this is what our curve actually looked like. So these 2 cards are pretty ridiculous. These are both just lightning bolts. This is pretty close to Ancestral Recall. So we're going to try to dead people as fast as we possibly can. We have lands, we have non-lands. We don't have too many of either. So, our opponent can certainly block, which we'll be fine with if they do. Nope. Alright, so deal is 3 damage. They have to use their turn. That's fine. We'll just play with Pyromancer. And if our opponent goes to combat or to pump or to mentor, we're going to kill the Banneret. That is a likely scenario. And however this ends. Okay. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and kill this Banneret. If our opponent has a pump spell, then we're going to get got really good. They do not. Will not block their first striking creature. We'll give them an opportunity to block. They're not going to take it, but we'll give it to them. And we'll play a Pyromancer, and we are probably going to block their Marshal if they attack with both of their creatures, so... Only the reason for this is Goblin Chainwheeler would be a great draw here. Skewer the critics. So we will go here. Then we're gonna bolt this. Just because it's gonna be very difficult for us to get through on the ground otherwise. We're still clocking our opponent pretty well. We're getting into range where they have to give us 3 cards, which is actually what we want. Wizard's Lightning is great. Well, let's see what they do. If they don't give us 3 cards, we can simply just kill them. We can attack them and then kill them. Okay. Well, in that case... let's attempt to dead our opponent. They can block 1. Oh. Take 2. Take 3 more. Alright, that's 1. Alright. On the play, this is actually not a great hand. We do need a couple of lands to function. This is probably too many, but we have a mulligan. We'll put this land on the bottom. We do have our friend old Cheney Boy, so... we're not going to destroy this Land War Elves. We're gonna let our friend Dr. Chainwheeler do that on the next turn. Steel Life Champion, sure. We're still gonna Chainwhirler. No attacks. even with opponent having a 5/4, they're not exactly inclined to attack. Oh, great. I'm more than happy that they are, though. Okay. We'll just get in with Chain Whirler. Okay. We'll get to show them a spectacle. Okay. Let us destroy their blocker. Here. And light up the stage again. Because why not? Play a haste creature. This is... what a ridiculous card. This card is completely absurd. If you guys were watching this transaction happen, but holy crap. Well, they know we have this. We really don't want them to block. So we'll take those out, put them to 5, and I suppose I could kill all of our creatures. Thorn Lieutenant. Okay, this should be enough. We simply just attack, deal them damage, and then lightning strike them. Put them to 1 and finish them off. All right, we're making it quick today. All right, game 3. This hand looks fantastic. We have a Raging Goblin that's also kind of a Mog Fanatic that also turns on a Lightning Bolt for free. Excuse me, a Chain Lightning. I hate to call it a Lightning Bolt, but, you know. We are going to cast this, though. We're just going to go ahead and get it in there. We're going to see if we can quickly dead our opponent. Cast Chain Whirler post-combat. They have the removal spell? Sure thing. Alright. 13. Have our opponent 9 next turn. Goblin Electromancer. Goblin Electromancer is going to pick up a shock, I believe. Alright. We passed the turn on accident. Because we're playing red, we're going too fast, too fast. Which may work out in our favor, of course. Because why wouldn't it? So our opponent can block, and of course it works out in our favor. And they go to 3. If our opponent plays a white and then plays a Clarion, we're in bad shape. Otherwise, we're not in bad shape. think our best play for our opponent would be a lightning strike and an enigma drake. Okay, that's a crackling drake. Shock. Okay. Well, that makes them not dead. Well, we're certainly not blocking. Yeah, they gotta block one from each. Just gotta keep them honest. Just gotta keep them honest. Alright, we'll put them to 1. And see if our deck can come up with 1 more point of burn. Right, this looks like the dig. For a blocker or removal spell. Okay, there's a removal spell. There's risk factor. Gotta let us draw. Alright. And of course there's our lone point of damage, which we'll direct to our opponent's face. Even with a mistake that turned out to not be a mistake. Alright, on the draw I'm going to keep this. We obviously need a 3rd land. Alright. But we can potentially light up the stage to find it. Electrostatic field. Alright. No blocks. Alright. There's our 3rd land. So we're going to attack. Opponent will block. We're going to lightning strike here. Lightning strike goes on for a while. Alright, there's another electrostatic field. Since the firebrand is not going to do us a ton of good, we're going to kill this with Chain Whirler. We cannot yet light up the stage, but we have a lot of draw power we got going on here, so. Okay. I would say we're at parity, but I don't think that we are. I think that we're in much better shape than our opponents. Opponent is. Okay, well, let's light up the stage. Only misses 2 lands. 1 land is fine. That can be our land for the turn next turn. I like how it separates. This is the stage that we've lit up. This is our graveyard. We can jumpstart this. This is another thing. That's a good card. Okay, so land. Then Pyromancer. And end of turn, we're going to risk factor again. And we're going to... We could get rid of this field now. By firebranding and... I think I would rather risk factor at the end of our turn. I think we need it to fight the Frenzy. Okay. There's a Steamkin. Alright. Okay, down goes our Pyromancer. So we've lost the opportunity to Wizard's Lightning and destroy this. Okay. This one is going to be close. Frenzy's obviously very good. We're not playing a Frenzy deck where we could be. Opponent likely takes 3 here. Okay. I think we need to Wizard's Lightning this because it's going to be too much mana for our opponent. Too much mana for us to deal with, specifically. And I believe the Firebrand is what we're going to pitch to the risk factor here. So we will pass the turn. Yeah, this is a good shock target. Okay. Definitely a good shock target if our opponent has multiples. Okay, so we're going to 4 at minimum this turn. Oof. Going to 2. Which is likely going to leave us dead. We can clear our opponent's board, but then they have to just miss. Which I feel like is very unlikely that they do so. So I think we're going to lose. We're going to lose to the Frenzy red deck. It's also unlikely they don't have... Yeah, I was going to say they don't have any burn spells in their hand. Which they certainly do. Firebrand. Certainly you have a... Yeah, I was going to say a Lightning Strike or a Shock. Alright. 1 down. Alright, we're on the draw. So I'm going to keep this because this is going to be a... Let's see how much we can light up the stage. This is going to be a test the power of this. Of course, our opponent's on a mulligan to 4, so I guess there's that. Give our opponent the option to block. Okay. Alright. Well, we did light up the stage. 1 damage. Not as good as our last one, but we'll keep it. Mainly because we don't have light up the stage. That card is just sweet. Alright. Firebrand, get in for 1. Oh, I like that. Llanowar Elves. They must really want Llanowar Elves. Well, I think we're gonna just kill this Llanowar Elves. I don't think I want to shock it because I want to play this Pyromancer. Getting this down is a little more damage over the long haul, just because we still have the shock. So if they play something like an Incubation Druid on 2, then we can kill that. Or a Merfolk Branchwalker. Excellent example. So we're going to shock here so we can get in for 2, light up the stage, hit 2 lands, which is fine because we can just play 1 now and 1 next turn, because that's a thing you can definitely do. Because that's totally a thing with this card. Nothing wrong with Red Ancestral Recall. Okay. Alright. This is going to be an obnoxious play. We're going to deal 1 to everything, activate Skewer the Critics, pay 1, kill this, and then get in for damage. I don't think either of these cards are okay. Then again, maybe in a set with Wilderness Reclamation, it is fine, I guess. Alright. Yeah, sure, let's attack. And if it blocks the Chain Whirler, then we're going to kill it post-combat. Alright. Then you're like, well, why didn't you play that first? Well, I would rather trade the Chain Whirler and get their creature dead so they don't have a blocker this turn. So, alright. Alright, so now this is going to be our test the light up the stage hand on the play. So we're going to keep this. We're going to try to get one with Firebrand. On turn 2 and light up the stage. Hopefully hit some lands. And if not, then it doesn't matter, because then we're just clearing cards off of our deck. Because why not? I'll let you guys know when I see a downside to this card. Okay, it's not yet. Yeah, I mean, I guess we play this. So again, only downside is 2 lands. Okay, there's a land and a Chain Whirler. Maybe we play this on this turn and then play Skewer the Critics on the next turn, hit a land and a this thing. So, I think this is the most damage. Rather than get a Chain Whirler onto the battlefield, only just because we have just copious amounts of burn. Okay, so now a Chain Whirler could hurt us here. So I think had we played the lava runner here and then skewered the critics the following turn. Well, now it just doesn't matter. Because we did not get Chain Whirlered, so we have a casual 11 points of burn in our hand. So even if this is a Chain Whirler, which it is, all we need to do is find one more point of burn when we're at 19. Alright. Which I feel like we can find. Okay, we're going to be taking 4 here. Okay, so next turn. Alright. Let's try to find it. Two risk factors, okay. Well, that's interesting. So essentially we have 4 draws to find 1 point of burn. or then we die. That seems fair. That seems reasonable for both sides. Okay. Well, we'll just find it. We'll just find it immediately. No need to play risk factor or any of that other nonsense. Opponent goes first, but this is a really solid hand, so we're going to keep it. Alright, we'll play our 1-2 blocker. Well, we're definitely going to... most likely we're going to Lightning Strike the Steamkin and hold the Skewer the Critics. Just because that can be 1 mana later. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Actually, I think what we're going to do is attack first. And see if our opponent double blocks. Maybe they will. No? Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and do this then. Since that is what we want to do. Guys, I love the spectacle chains. Okay, no chain whirler. Then let's... We'll attack for 1 if our opponent... We're going to play risk factor here regardless. To try to get in a little extra damage. Maybe encourage our opponent to use a removal spell on Lava Runner. You know what? If not, then that's great too. Okay, they do. Experimental Frenzy, okay. So it's back to Risk Factor versus Frenzy. Is essentially where we are. We're at a much higher life total this time than we were last time. And we're still gonna Risk Factor at end of turn. Likely put our opponent down to 10. Now, the real messed up thing is if they have light up the stage, you can essentially play those cards out of your hand regardless. Okay. There's the chains. Put our opponent to 5. Put our opponent to 2. We will request that they kill our board. This is essentially their only option. Opponent looks like they're out of options, and they are. Okay, well, there you have it. Now, a lot of people don't like mono red, but as you can see, 7 wins, 1,000 gold, a free mythic, a free rare, and an uncommon in under an hour. And this is with me dirtling around making the deck too. So really this is like 30 minutes of game time. And this is important because when you're free to play, obviously you're trying to maximize your time so you can maximize your gold. This deck is so low wildcard intensive, it's so unintensive for your wildcards that it just makes sense to have this deck just to be able to quickly go through and play these events. Just as a collection builder, even if it's not necessarily your favorite deck to play, maybe so you can work on decks you like more, and that's certainly how I'm using it. So we doubled our gold, got a League Guild Mage, a Verity Circle, and a Lazav. Maybe this could have been anything else, but point is, we got at least 2 rares and an uncommon off of this. We got 1 upgraded to a mythic, which is always great. So this just kind of goes to show, and I felt like we pretty easily just sliced through everything. The only close games were the other red decks. So it's just something to note for everyone. But thank you guys very much for watching, regardless if you enjoyed Mono Red or not. Although if you didn't, you probably didn't make it to the end of this episode. But for those of you that did, thanks for sticking around to watch us get the 7 wins on our run. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And of course, search Thinktwice MTG on all audio platforms, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Play Music. And of course, visit patreon.com/ThinktwiceMTG to support the show. Thanks again for watching. Catch you guys next time.